it's Mishka again, and today I'm going to talk to you about the best, and I am. Well, let's turn that around. How about I am the best? I wonder who's going to say that with confidence, and I hope you can. You can say, I am the best. But there's a reason that I'd like to talk to you about that today, because there was the challenge in my own life, and I shared it in one of the previous videos, and if you haven't seen it, but I didn't really specifically spend time on it, and I really want to talk to you about that today, the best. Now, the example I used out of my own life was when I was in gym one morning, 5 o'clock, slogging it away, you know, doing my thing, believing I'm really getting there. And I'm not a natural gym person. It's not something that comes naturally. You know, sometimes when we do something and it comes naturally, it's so easy. But, you know, the difficult thing is those things, it doesn't really come naturally. We've got to work at it. And I was there. And I was listening to music, and my son has actually gave me this whole array of music, and I had my little earphones in and listening to his music. And one of the songs was, it just stopped me in my tracks. Not literally stopped me from exercising, but it stopped me when I heard the words, you know. And I was like, all I did was listening to the words and hearing this song in my head and exercising. And the song, as I mentioned before, is called Butterflies and Hurricanes, and it's a song of Muse. And I've never really listened to the words of it, and as I listened to it that morning, it really got stuck in my mind. And it said, a part of it says, best, you've got to be the best. The time is there to be the best. And it was almost like all of a sudden, have you had those moments in your life when something just speaks to you and it's like, really? It was almost as if something just spoke. So it was inside of me, an explosion. Best. It was such a knowledge of, you know, you've got so much to do. There's so much that's not right. There's so much. If you actually go and listen to the words, it challenges you. And it says, you know, the time is sort of running out. You've got to become the best. And it was a moment in my life. I don't know. I was just like, it's when you're looking in the mirror and you just realize, maybe my hair shouldn't really look like that. And maybe I should do that. Or something, you get this very honest person. You know those people. And they tell you something. No, really, like my children, they can do that. Oh, I really don't think you should wear that. Like, really? But they can say that because I know they love me. And I know that they mean it well. And we need those people in our lives, you know. We need those ones that we call mentors. They tell us when things are not really good. We don't always like them. We don't always like the message that they bring. But they would not be fair to their own call, and they won't be true to themselves if they tell us what we want to hear. And interestingly enough, I got that from this song. And it was like almost somebody saying to me, what are you doing? You're living such a substandard life. And at that point, a lot of things were so wrong in my life, and I was so desperately unhappy. And the words hit right home, and it went inside of me, and it touched me right into my spirit. And it was like something woke up that morning, 5 o'clock in the gym. You would have thought I would have been awake before that, but I'll tell you something, there was something else that woke up that day. And I realized that if I'm going to really leave a legacy, if I'm going to do it good, I'm going to do it really good. And I'm not there. I wasn't there at all. I just realized that in order for me to be able to help other people, I really have to shape up. I really have to get to that place. Now, we're living in a society where people aren't happy with themselves, and it's one of the big concerns, and it is a problem. And I'm not saying at all that I want to say to anybody out there today that you're not good enough, because this message is not that at all. I do believe, like I mentioned to you before, that we've actually been born with that I am inside of us that's perfect. It is whole, it's beautiful, it's got total full purpose. Do you know, In fact, my message is absolutely the opposite of what you may think when I talk about being the best. Because what we always look for is people want you to be thinner and more beautiful, and you got to get more better marks, and you got to always, that is not what I'm talking about. Not at all. I'm talking about getting back to the perfection almost of that I am. Who are you? Who am I? And you see, we're not the best because we're trying to be something that we're not. And it always slips through our fingers. When we're trying to be something somebody else is, when we're missing that factor of I am, who am I? Because that factor, that I am, is perfect, it is whole. And I want to say this to you again. I've got, and I'm the only one with this fingerprint is mine. And you can say the same to me today. You have exactly the same. There's not another person that's got the same fingerprints. We are all unique. I believe everybody's got a unique purpose as well. Now, it's not about being the best in competition. Can you see the difference? I'm not talking to you about competition today. I'm talking about being the best you, being the best me. Who am I? Why am I running to impress other people? I mean, really, then you lose the track and nobody's happy with you anyway. That's the truth. So when that moment came and I heard these words, it was like I had to answer myself. So I go, Mishka, the best. I had to go so deep and realize, who am I? What do I really want to leave behind? What do I really want to do? What is my heart's desire? And then, when you know that, become the best. Then you take it and you shape it and you get it back to its original form. Can you see the difference? When we look at people, going back to the gym scenario, you cannot have any person walking into the gym and say, but I want that guy's muscles. It's not going to happen. You've got your own. And we also know, unfortunately, it doesn't just jump on us, You want that body, but oh goodness, it's a little bit of work to get there because you'll have to get your own to that place. So it's not competing with each other. It's not competing with anybody else. It is getting back into shape. It's getting back into that real I am. Who is the best me? And do we allow people to get us out of our comfort zones? Oh, we can get so frustrated with people who want the best out of us. Sometimes we've got even clients and they can't understand when you want the best. I think it's a compliment. I think differently than most people I know. But even when I have people that would render service to me, if I want their best and I am adamant to get it, I don't see it as being difficult. I see it as just a compliment to them because I trust them. So if you give them that little bit extra and you say, no, you're going to give me a little bit better service here because that's what I want from you. It doesn't mean you're difficult. It means that you actually trust them. It means that you see beyond the layer, It is like again, if you have to train, a trainer in a gym would probably look at you and say, they see differently, you see. We think different perspective. This trainer looks at us and he'll say, or she'll say, that shouldn't be like that. It should actually be like that. It should look like this. It should look like this. We should come to this place. That is what a mentor does. That's what a trainer does. That is what those people do. That is what I do when I deal with a lot of my people, a lot of staff, a lot of people in my life. If they've been entrusted to me, sometimes they hate me because I say, not good enough. You've got to shape up. You've got to fly. Because I see in you the potential. And I believe that if I leave you the same way that you've been yesterday, then I really haven't accomplished anything, because I'd love to, it's awesome to see people just getting better at who they are. Not at the the person next to them, that's really irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But who are you? And I'm reading this book, and I just want to, this has really touched me, and I'd like to give credit here to, the book's name is Living in the Optimum Zone, and it's written by Didier Tesson. I've been to a seminar recently, and there's a piece in this book that really, really I want to read to you, and I'm sure you wouldn't mind. Optimum. Now the name of it is Living in the Optimum Zone. Can you see what I'm talking about here? The optimum zone. Optimum comes from the Latin word optimus, used as a noun meaning best. It means the point at which the conditions, degree, or collection of something is at the most favorable. A condition or state or environment that produces the best result and is most favorable or most flawless, and advantages for growth or success to be achieved. It is the zone which is most conducive for a favorable outcome, the best or optimum conditions. The result is the best possible consistent outcomes. Listen to that, optimum zone. That's what I'm talking to you about today. It's that place, that's that favorable place. It's getting into that space, to the optimum zone of who we are. Now, once again, optimum is best. So it's not when somebody says to you, you've got to be the best, you know. We sometimes just hear those because we've got all these things in our minds. It's so wrongly programmed, you know, and we just, you know, really best, best, best. And if I don't have the best marks in my tests and I don't know, all these things, you know, we put people in little boxes and we want them all to look the same and I don't know, it's just really not good. People are supposed to be the best at who they are. That's all. That's all. If we can actually live a life where we started, when we can actually realize that perfect I am that we were born with into this environment, remember, that's not so conducive, and people tell us all these things, and so we get a lot of good and we get a lot of bad, and we're exposed to so much, and then we're either going to go to the one side where we're going to just say, oh, well, I just can't make this. I'm not good enough. There's a bad self-image comes in. Honestly, I believe that's why people are very depressed, because we're living according to other people's standards. Now imagine you can go back to that perfect I am, and that's how you live. So when you die, and you and I die, and we're finished now, it's optimum. We've lived optimally. We've given the best. Not because we are competing with somebody, but because we've taken the time to find out what is that perfect person, that perfect person that came into this world. What am I and who am I? Who am I supposed to be to you? Who am I supposed to be to the people around me? What is in me that I have to give to you? What are you missing because I'm not living optimally? What book is it that I have to still write? And by doubting myself, and by always thinking about I'm not good enough, by always entertaining these negative thoughts, I just never come to that thing that is supposed to be such a joy to you. What painting is still inside of you that's supposed to hang in my house? Because it's so beautiful. But it's not there because it's inside of you. And it's not there because you're still not in your optimum zone. So the moment you move into that optimum zone, there's a song that's going to come out of you. There's a painting that's going to come out of you. There's a music that's going to come out of you. There's an invention that's going to come out of us. That is what life's all about. That is the optimum zone. And that is what I want to encourage everyone that listens to me to do. Stop competing with people. Stop getting angry with people that may just want to bring you into an optimum zone. because it might be that trainer in the gym and you think, sometimes I just think, you're like years younger than me. Stop telling me what to do. Have you had that? Yeah, you're tired now. I don't want to do this. I don't feel like it. No? That's what we do. No, I don't feel like it. I'll just live, cozy, comfortable life. And then I've got the mentor that says, no, we're not stopping now. I can't do this. That's too much. I don't have time. You hear the voice. You can do far more. Are you in your optimum zone? Are you at your best? What is the best? All I know, the best for me is to be the best me for you. That is my heart's desire. That is what makes me tick. It's what is there in my heart that came in as that baby. And perfect. What is there that I can offer you that will give you hope, that make you smile? What do I have to change about myself? Because you see, if I walk around angry, and I walk around without a smile on my face, and I walk around sorry for myself, and I walk around in self-pity, and I walk around in unforgiveness, and I think about everybody that's hurt me, and I've got such a bad deal in this life, what am I giving? I want to encourage you to shake it off. Get into your optimum zone. Get into the best. Find out what is it that somebody else has to receive from only you, because you've got the fingerprint, you see. Now, unless, interesting, because if I die with this fingerprint, nobody else is going to get it. You can't inherit somebody's fingerprint. So you can't inherit somebody's purpose. So if there is that painting inside of you that's not coming out because you worried too much about things that you didn't be worried about anyway, you're spending too much time on stuff that's taking you out of the optimum zone. It's holding you back from your optimum zone. You're taking away from us. You're taking away from your husband. You're taking away from your wife. You're taking away from your children. You're taking away from those around you, because there's something inside of you that is unique, that is beautiful. And I want to encourage you today to start to just look for that. Embrace it. Get into your optimum zone. And let it not even be a challenge to you when anybody tells you you've got to be the best. Until next week, goodbye.